Hey, happy Monday. It's beautiful, beautiful morning. Sun's rising, and you guys were on my mind. I wanted to share with you a great technique on what I believe is what is worry's biggest enemy and worry's biggest fear, actually. Uh, I know that in life, when it comes to being a business owner, running your family, uh, building out your job, trying to grow in the corporate world, trying to grow in school and in your education, there can be a lot of preoccupation throughout our day where our mind and that RAM, that random access memory, is just being filled with constant worry about what might be, what might happen, and the decisions that you're making. That can be paralyzing, and it can almost feel like you've just been managing your whole day with worry. And I get it. It can be everything from, will I have enough money? Will I be able to provide for myself? Will I have enough money next week? How am I going to eat? Um, are my kids going to be safe? Are my friends going to stay with me? Can I trust them? And it's, a life based in fear, but worry is really, really what's at hand. And that is the big elephant that's in the room. And hey, I get it, because it's so easy to slip into, and before you know it, you're like, "Oh my goodness, I'm neck deep in all this stuff," and you want to get out of that hole again. And so there's some techniques and there's some truths that I wanted to share with you today um, that really for me has set me free. And I can snap out of it. This is what gets me out of it super super fast and gets me out of the whole trench of that rut of, man, my thoughts are just plagued with worry and I can't seem to get out of it, and all I'm trying to do is just manage that. And then there's a flip side of renewing your mind and renewing your mind with the truth. And really, if you can get a hold of your mind, that's where all the beliefs happen. And once you get your beliefs straight, you can change your heart. And your heart contains your actions, your heart contains your habits. And once I start living out that, it changes my habits, then it turns into my actions. And so I just really want to share with you some of the truths that I said. In terms of my walk with God and how that plays it out, I want to share with you this one verse, this one part of the Bible that I think is just absolutely paramount. Jesus is walking around, and when he was in his ministry, here's the truth that he shared when it came to worry. I mean, these are his words, they're not mine. Therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more important than food, and the body more important than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or stow away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Who of you by worrying can add a single hour to his life? That was a big one for me. And why do you worry about your clothes? See how the lilies of the field grow? They do not labor and spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon, all of his splendor, was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which are here today and gone tomorrow, and is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the pagans and the people of this world run after these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. And this is the verse that just did it all for me. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow. For tomorrow will worry about itself, and for each day has enough trouble of its own. So, what is the biggest enemy what is the biggest enemy for worry? You want to extinguish worry? It's joy. And what is the joy? The joy is in knowing that your Heavenly Father, you as his child, bought with a price. You and I are that much more valuable than all the creation and everything that we see out here. So that's what gives me total rest. And knowing, dude, I am handled. Why do I trip? Well, you're living in a world that is fallen, in a culture that is going to constantly barrage you with who you are not and what you need to be. You need to have this, you need to buy this, and if you have it, you're happy. And we're trying to meet a measuring stick that's never going to get hit. And that is an absolute insane way of living in the culture that we live. So it makes perfect sense to me why I have that contrast in my head every single day. There's not something wrong with me. It makes perfect sense. I'm living behind enemy lines. And when you start living your life in such a way of knowing that you are a child of God, things get really interesting because you start realizing, man, it's no wonder nothing makes sense, because the culture that I'm living is completely different to the culture I'm living in. So you might be with your identity with Him, but your identity does not have to do with the culture that you're living in. So there is going to be that contrast on a daily basis. So the joy is in knowing that I'm handled, that I'm taken care of, that I'm bought with a price, that I have an inheritance that'll never rot or fade or be stolen. And as His child and as a child of the Creator, I can rest in that fact and have joy in that fact. So I'd rather spend my time trusting and believing and having joy throughout the day than staying in a life of worry about things that are out of my control and things that are none of my business. So that gives me a lot of ease in my heart and in my mind. So I hope that these words give you a little bit of whatever you're dealing with, whether you're dealing with family issue, health issues. You're fine. If you're a child of God, if you believe in Him, if you're handled, if you're in His family, rest in that. Know that. Be encouraged in that. If you're trying to grow your business and you're trying to grow your brand and you're building that identity and you're going after those things and you're going into risk, listen, rest in that and know that you're okay. So that's the question that I have for myself. Am I living a life where I am living and I'm trusting? And is that evident in my life? So hope this encourages you guys. Love to hear a comment down below. Would you do me a favor? Leave me a comment down below. Share this with somebody that you believe needs some help. If they need some help, if they need some mentoring, if they need that life mentor, not a life coach, but if they need a life mentor, if you want more of this, take a look at some of my other pages, noahuniversity.com. Check out masters.life. For those of you that are seeking and need some help and want to do life with others that are living with life on purpose, and getting out of the rut and finding out their true identity and what they're supposed to do while they're here. I'll tell you, that's exciting news for me, and that's what I want to spend my time doing. Hope you have a great, great week. Talk to you soon. See you later.